Hey guys, Palomore here. Today I'm back with another video.
Potential customer. May I show you my wares?
Who are you? And how did you get into my house?
I got the best deals anywhere.
Okay, I'm actually in the middle of trying to record a video. I don't know who you are, and I
I
don't
don't
know
have
how.
time for this.
Okay, that's great. I'm gonna get back to this. If you wanna.
Glad I could help.
Okay. All right, pals. So welcome back to another video. As I was trying to explain in the intro when I was rudely interrupted, today's video is actually going to be me talking about how I've made all the gold that I've made so far in TBC. Right now, it doesn't look like so much. I only have 1,500, but you do need to keep a couple things in mind. I bought my epic mount. I've invested a lot into leveling professions as well as consumables, best in slot gear, gems, enchants, like all that kind of stuff. But at this point, I've probably made 10 to 15,000 gold total, and this video is going to tell you my 3 best ways on how I made that gold and how you can do it as well. So let's just jump right into it. One of the first methods that I use to make gold is very simple, and it is basically mining. So mining, I did in Classic WoW a ton when I played a rogue, and I mainly profited from arcane crystals. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get as rare of drops from mining nodes in TBC because there aren't things valuable like arcane crystals, but the consistent value of the ore as well as the moats of fire and earth you can get from the nodes really start to add up. So of course, the video would be silly if I just told you to go get mining and level. So what I'm going to do is actually show you some of my specific routes that I take and where I find the most ore, I guess. In terms of leveling your mining, I would really recommend just investing, buying all the low-level ores and just smelting to level for the most part, unless you really can't afford it. The reason why I would recommend this is because the amount of time you're going to save by smelting your ore to level, you'll basically make that back in the amount of time you'll have to farm things like, corium and adamantite and fel iron. Anyways, the first place that I like to farm is basically Zanger Marsh. As you can see when I open my map, you're going to see a lot of icons all over, and I'll kind of explain what these are. So these are basically something that you'll see if you have an add-on called Gathermate 2. And here we go, first note of the video already. Basically, this is an add-on, and as soon as you mine from a node or gather from any node, this works for all professions, it will actually import that data into your add-on, and it will kind of remember the spawn location. So this is an add-on I would really highly recommend getting if you're somebody that's farming with professions. But yeah, like I said, that will track all over the map all these adamantite and fel iron nodes that I have found before. So that's definitely something you should pick up. As for the other icons, those are the steam clouds, and I'm going to get to those next. But yeah, for general mining, here is a steam cloud. Let's ignore this for right now. For mining, the best way to actually farm this is usually around mountains. This is kind of how nodes have been placed in all of WoW. So generally, any single zone you go to, if you're kind of just flying around the outskirt, as you can see, there's a ton of nodes, and you'll kind of end up getting the most by doing that. If you swim through, if you fly through the middle in Zanger Marsh specifically, there are some nodes that spawn underwater in the lakes, but they're kind of annoying to go for. There's a lot of water NPCs that will attack you and stuff. But general rule of thumb for getting the most mining nodes, you always want to stick near the mountains and the hills. Those on the outskirts will give you a lot. Primarily Zanger Marsh is where I've been farming. I don't know if it's because of the game still being really fresh and new, TBC, but I seem to just have the most uptime on finding nodes here. Nagrand seems to have a lot of nodes as well, but it seems a lot more heavily farmed. Hellfire is kind of the same thing. Fel Iron is very valuable, and there's tons of nodes. But like I said, because the expansion is still new, the re-release, there's a lot of people in this zone, so it's passively getting farmed all the time. So this is something you got to keep in mind. Other than that, Netherstorm's not that great. There's not a ton of nodes. Blade's Edge also isn't that amazing. Same with Terracar. And Shadowmoon also, it's kind of like a higher level zone, so it's more contested for farming as well. I would really highly recommend Zanger Marsh as a #1 farming spot, probably Hellfire #2, and then Nagrand #3. And this goes both for the mining and also the second thing I'm going to talk about, which now I'm going to talk about, is actually the second way I make money, and that is as an engineer. So as you saw a couple of minutes ago, I basically walked up to a little blue ball here and I used this thing on it. This is a Moat Extractor. This is something that engineers can actually get in TBC by doing a little quest. If you're Horde or Alliance, it'll be in Zanger Marsh, so there'll be a little engineering NPC. And basically, you have to get to 305, you'll be able to learn the pattern, and you'll be able to have this item. And what this item does is it lets you actually extract those little clouds that you'll find around the map, and it actually turns them into moats, which get turned into primals, of course. This has been my primary way of making tons of gold in TBC. Specifically, if I farm a couple hours a day, I can get 20 to 30 to 40 moats of, primal waters. And on my server, at the time that I was farming these the most, they were selling for over 30 gold each. So you can easily see how this adds up really fast. But I guess more information about these engineering things is that you get the 305, you get the extractor, and then something I would highly recommend is if you even level higher, you can get to 350. You can buy a pattern to basically make these goggles, and what these goggles will do, if you read the equip effect, it'll actually show you the gas cloud locations on your minimap. So this might sound like a big waste of money. I think it took me like 500 to 600 gold to level up 300 to 350 to get these. I absolutely would recommend it. I think it's very worth it to get these goggles. It makes the farming a lot more AFK. And then in zones like Nagrand especially, if you're doing the moat extraction farming, there's a lot of the clouds that are actually up on the floating islands. So unless you're going up there to check each of them, you're not going to really see them. So I would really recommend pushing for these goggles. As for my route for these are a little bit random. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of consistency in to be like the mining where they're near hills really. They're kind of just scattered out, but they are in clumps. So I kind of also have a little route. My friend has a route that he made for Nagrand that I can share with you guys, as well as what I've been using with Zanger Marsh. I basically have just imported as many nodes as I can for these theme clouds. And as you can see, there's like lots of clumps over here of them. So what I'll do is I'll actually leave images. I'll probably overlay them on the screen right now. For both Zanger Marsh and Nagrand, if you want to farm what I like to call these with my friend fart clouds. If you go sucking fart clouds, you can make a ton of gold. This will probably be a very consistent moneymaker as well down the road. Primals are something that don't really lose value in TBC because they're used in a lot of enchants as well as crafting armor. So that's something that you'll find. They're a very smart thing to farm. It's not going to be like getting a BOE item that's going to instantly get replaced by a new patch or a new phase. So between the mining and being an engineer, that's how I've made most of my money in TBC. But then again, you might be wondering, well, I don't have a flying mount. I don't have my epic flyer. I won't be able to farm these as efficient as you, and I absolutely thought the same way. So that is why I was actually farming before I had my epic flyer to be able to afford it. I was doing more of, I guess you could say, like a grind farm instead of like a gathering. So for number 3, I actually decided to farm mobs to get primals as drops. There's a couple locations I can show you, so let's head over to them. Alright, so here I am in the first location where I was farming. And something to note is if you have a class or a spec that can kind of capitalize in AoE, that's going to really come to your benefit. But yeah, the first farm I was doing was actually farming for Primal Manas. As you can see here, I don't know if this guy's actually doing an AoE pull or it's running by, but there are a ton of these mana wraiths just outside Area 52 in Netherstorm. There's a ton of these spawns. And if you actually just tag a bunch of them and kind of hit them, you can easily pull these together and AoE them down. At the time, I was playing a holy kind of disc, very offensive spec with a lot of AoE, and I was able to kill, I would say, like 7 to 10 of these in one pull. So as you can see, if I pop down here to kill one of them, these guys can drop moats of mana, just like all the moats and primals. 10 moats can be turned into a primal, and the Primal Manas, I believe, are going for, you'll have to check on your own servers, but they were going for 20 to 40 gold, something in that range, and the drop rate is not too bad. It's not too bad at all. These were one of the first things that I was farming right off the bat as soon as I was trying to get my flyer and I was level 70. So hopefully I get some here so I can show you. So yeah, there's a moat of mana. So just like that, if these were 30 gold a primal, I would have just made 3 gold already. So as you can see, this is a great way. this is one of the first things I would farm. I'll show you the other location really quick, and then we'll hop to Primal Fires, which are another big contender. But yeah, these are the Primal Manas. This spot is a bit north of Netherstorm. Tons of these up, and there's barely ever competition here. Clearly, even still a couple days after I've been farming here, I think I was farming here like a week ago, and there's still barely anybody here. And then up here past this cliff, there's another huge chunk of them that spawn. So if you're a mage or something that has a lot of AoE, you can kind of just go back and forth. And it looks like there might actually be a guy down there farming. I think I saw a guy for a sec. But you'll have like another like, I don't know, it's like 5 to 10 that spawn over in this area from here to here. So yeah, those are the Primal Manas. Let's go to the next spot. Okay guys, so the next spot is actually a spot where you can farm Searing Elementals, and they can actually drop Primal Fires. The spot's actually just next door to Netherstorm. It's near kind of this top right corner in Blades Edge Mountains. And there is a lot of these elementals that will spawn. Something to note, as you can see right now, is this spot is extremely competitive. As you can see, there's barely any of them even alive. This is one of the places where I haven't really found ever without other people already farming it. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But yeah, if you can get your hands on a lot of mobs here, you can get a lot of modifiers, and these are arguably the most valuable moat. They net a lot of gold. I believe right now on my server they're going about 5 gold per moat, which is like 50 gold a primal. As you can see, this could turn into a lot of gold really fast. Like I said though, this spot is very competitive. I've never seen this place empty. There's always people farming here. Usually there's a lot of spawns, but it seems like these guys have it locked down pretty hard. But if you are curious, and maybe if you're on a low pop server, you could come check it out. But yeah, this spot, top right corner, kind of Blade's Edge, this is a good spot to farm primals as well. Anyways, pals, that's going to wrap up the video today. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it also if you could subscribe to my channel. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can come check if I'm live streaming. I stream every single day over at twitch.tv/Palomore. Anyways, thank you so much again, guys. I wish you all the best of luck farming your epic mounts, and I will see you all in the next video.